don't know how good it's gonna work on Facebook because Facebook is on the laptop. But let's see. Okay, I'm live on Instagram. I'm live on TikTok. I'm live on Facebook. Facebook look like it's lagging, but anyway, here goes. So this live is basically about some people that I am related to. So the catalyst for this video has been yet another trip that my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, has taken to the hospital. So my aunt that's younger than me, which is Angel, she got a call this morning. Well, she was receiving calls and texts from the hospital this morning saying that her mom, which is my grandmother, was in the hospital again. And so she was asking me to call her sister, which is my other aunt, Lil G. Lil G is more like a sister to me. And so she was like, call Lil G or whatever, because she basically don't know what's going on. The hospital wants to know about her medication. They want to know, who she living with, all this kind of stuff. They have none of this information has been given to them. I still don't know exactly how she got to the hospital. I'm assuming she got to the hospital in an ambulance. I don't know who called the ambulance, but the person that my grandmother was living with is named Rolitha Dixon, Perry, Nickerson, whichever one she wants to go by. So before my grandmother went to live with Rolitha, she was in a nursing home. So in the nursing home, there were professionals there taking care of her. Little G would also go daily to take care of her, to get her things that she needed, extra things like video, DVDs, TVs, all kind of stuff she would do for her while she was in the nursing home. And she was making sure that the people that worked at the nursing home were taking care of her, right? I would be on the phone. There was a camera in the room also, so that the workers would be protected. My grandmother would be protected. Lil G would be protected. Everybody would be protected. But for some reason, when certain people like Rolitha would go up there, they would want to turn the camera or have the camera turned off. I can't look at baby, I can't look at what you're saying. You're going to have to comment on the live, love. I can't look at it. So hold on. So whenever Rolitha would go up there, she would turn the camera, but there was audio still being output from said camera, right? Okay, this thing is gonna get on my nerves. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so there would be audio still coming from the camera, so we could hear what was going on in the room when she would have visitors. And so the topic was never, how you doing, mom? Do you need something? Are you wet? Have you been fed? Or anything like that. The topic was always Lil G and what Lil G has going on. When Lil G was the main one who was going up, and I say main one, only one going up there taking care of her. And you may be wondering why I wasn't going up there taking care of her. Well, we are estranged, my grandmother and I, but that does not mean that I want her to be mistreated or taken advantage of. So this is why I'm speaking out. And we are estranged due to her son, my uncle, molesting and raping me as a child. We'll circle back to that. So anyway, the topic would always be Little G. Now, mind y'all, Little G is also in the medical field also. So it's a lot of things that she knows that other people in the family do not know. They don't know what's going on, the ins and outs. They don't know her medical history or anything like that. So Lil G is able to stay on top of these people that work in the nursing home, administrators, CNAs, nurses, whoever. She's able to stay on top of them. They know when she comes, you better have your shit together, right? So it shouldn't be, the family members that went to see my grandmother in the nursing home shouldn't be worried about what Lil G's doing or saying, you want me to whoop her ass or shit like that. You should be thanking her for taking care of your mother because you're not doing it. So anyway, end of last year in November, right before Thanksgiving, a whole bunch of shit started up or whatever, coming from mainly Rolitha. But she also enlisted the help of my mother, which is Jackie. So they got my grandmother to say that Lil G was abusing her, which couldn't be further from the truth. Because first of all, this is the only one that was taking care of this woman before she got in the nursing home, after she got in the nursing home, hospital visits, all of that. Now, mind you, at the end of last year, made a year that I was no contact with my mother and my aunt Rolita, and also, uh, Demetrius, which is a cousin. So I went no contact at a year prior because my grandmother was in the hospital, and Rolita and Jackie told the people at the hospital to keep little G away from her mother, my grandmother. Told her to keep her out of the hospital room, don't let her in the hospital room. And then at that time, she could communicate. My grandmother, she could communicate. So she's saying, no, I don't want her in here. She's stealing from me. Little G was not stealing from her. But when you have somebody that's not in their right state of mind and they have people steady telling them all these things and fear mongering, they're gonna believe it. Now, why she would believe the people that weren't coming to check on her, I don't know. But when you're not in your right state of mind, that's what's going to happen, right? So I'm on the phone with Lil G while the people at the hospital are telling her, hey, we can't let you in here because your sister said that you upset your mom. Your sister said X, Y, and Z, right? So Lil G's crying on the phone. I'm literally decorating a cake. If you've seen the cake, it's on my page. It was the 90s, the pink cake. I'm decorating that cake while Lil G is on the phone crying because she can't go in the hospital room and check on her mom, right? And I'm on the phone telling Lil G, they can't tell you can't go in there. Only she can tell you that. So she ended up saying it, right? So Lil G goes home. She didn't go up there for a few days. And guess what? While she couldn't go up there, my grandmother had a fucking stroke. Now, we don't know exactly what happened and who did what. But I will tell you that this family has a history of... I'm sorry, okay. Rolita is my aunt. Lil G is her sister. So Lil G is 1 year older than me. Angel is the younger sister, the younger aunt. So my grandmother has like 3 younger kids. So Lil G is right before me. Then it's Lucius, the boy. Then it's Angel. So those are her younger kids or whatever. So, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to get it out everywhere because the shit just keeps going and going, and it's so many secrets, and I'm just sick of it. So here it is. It's everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, uh, Facebook, and I wish I could have did YouTube too, but I couldn't do that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So, at the hospital, they were telling her she couldn't go in. She didn't go up there for a few days, and mind you, I was working on the cake, and then also she legit would call me every time she went to go visit my grandma, her mom. She would call me, so she would have somebody on the phone, and I did have a call recording app on my phone. It wasn't for this, it was for some shit that happened to me, but I had it on my phone, so we did have a lot of calls, but I ended up replacing my phone and didn't know that the call recordings were not backed up with my Google Drive. So there's that. But I don't give a fuck. Anything that I'm saying, I know it's the absolute truth, right? Okay, so they told her she couldn't go up there. My grandmother ended up having a stroke. When Lil G went back up there, they were releasing her from the hospital. She went home from the hospital, and Lil G was like, oh, she's not acting right. She sent her to a different hospital. The hospital told her that she had had another stroke. So it was all these things going on. And mind you, when she first went to the hospital, it was a big secret from Lil G. Lil G wasn't supposed to know. For what reason, I have no idea, because Lil G was the one going over to her apartment, bathing her and making sure she was good. Now, Jackie lived in the same apartment complex as my grandmother. Lived in the same apartment complex, but she was not going over there bathing her, cleaning her, or cooking for her, or any of that. She would go over there when she needed some money, because if it doesn't benefit Jackie, she's not going to do it, right? The relationship between Lil G and Ro, they're sisters. Lil G, Rolita, Angel, Lucius, Junior. Junior is the pedophile uncle. They're all siblings. They're all Miss G, my grandmother. They're all her children. Okay, so, also in the apartment that my grandmother lived in before she went to the hospital and then had to go to the nursing home after that, in that apartment, Junior and Lucius lived in that apartment with her also, which is one of the reasons that I stopped going to the apartment, because I didn't want to be around him, and I made that known. And ended up telling my grandmother why. I ended up telling her after Lil G had already told her. Jackie is the person who birthed me. Yes, correct. So, I told my grandmother why I wasn't coming over there. She says, "Well, he's not there in the daytime or whatever." And I'm like, "Cool." So I would go by there and check on her or whatever. My mama knew that I didn't want to be around him also. So this one night after a farmer's market or a pop-up shop, I went over there with my mama to take her back home and tell my grandma what happened. I'm all proud and telling her, and I'm sitting on the couch in the living room, and this nigga walks out of the room, and he's in the living room staring at me. The nigga who did this shit to me when I was a kid is right there looking me face to motherfucking face. And Jackie had already went to the back. So you knew this nigga was in here and you didn't come tell me he was in here. So I immediately got up and I came out to my vehicle. I didn't get my phone. I didn't get my purse. I didn't get nothing. I came outside to my vehicle. So that's one of the reasons I didn't go over to her apartment like I used to. I used to take my grandma to the store all the time when she was mobile. Mind you, she was not able to walk anymore before she went to the hospital and had the strokes and all that. She was not able to walk. She needed surgery on her knees, but she couldn't have the surgery because she weighed so much. And she didn't want to get weight loss surgery. She was scared of it. She saw a video. She was scared. Okay, so back to the shit with the hospital. So it was supposed to be a big secret about her going to the hospital that first time. Lil G was not supposed to know. But Jackie knew that she was going to the hospital. And then Lucius, which is her youngest son, my grandmother's youngest son, my uncle, Lucius ended up calling Little G and telling her that my grandmother went to the hospital because Jackie and Rolitha were at the apartment trying to put him out. They're trying to put him out of an apartment that is not theirs. They went over there ganging up on him, trying to put him out, and Jackie was like, she would go stay at the apartment and stay with Junior. Junior is the motherfucker that raped and molested her child, me. But she would live in an apartment with him and not her younger brother. Catch all that. Yeah. So she would live in an apartment with him and not Lucius. And Lucius ain't, as far as I know, ain't never did nothing to her. Now, he gets on my nerves, right? But because he has these conspiracy theories in his head about the world, he gets on my nerves, and you know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. And I feel like he's lazy or whatever, and his mama take care of him, which that goes on a lot in black households. The family takes care of the men, and it's F the girls basically. But my mother would have rather to live in their mother's apartment, with the man that she already knew raped and molested her child than her other brother that ain't never did nothing to her or her kids, right? Okay. So it was a whole bunch of drama with the apartment and all of that shit. A whole bunch of drama with Lil G. Push came to shove. Grandma went to the nursing home. Lil G was still taking care of her while she was in the nursing home. Going and getting her stuff. And Lil G had power of attorney over her at the time also. So at first Lil G was using her own money to take care of her mom's like the extra stuff or whatever. She's using her own money, like nightgowns and things like that. When your family member is in a nursing home, you want them to have nice things and feel like they're at home. And that's how Lil G had her room set up there, right? She had her own TV. She had DVDs, DVD player, remote control, all this kind of stuff. She had her lotions, all this extra stuff that a lot of people in nursing homes, I'm sure they wanted. She had. Lil G made sure she had it, and she was coming out of her own pocket with it. And this girl worked all the time, but she still made time to go up to that nursing home and make sure her mama was good. She was going in there changing her mama. She was going in there telling these people, well, if you need help changing her, you need to get with somebody because I'm not going to be able to do it every time, which is true. Y'all are at work. This is her mom. She's getting off work and coming up here and taking care of her. I'm on the phone hearing this. This is not secondhand information that I'm handing out. I'm listening to this shit, and I would fuss at Lil G. You are tired. You need to go home. And I tell her that because when she would get there, her mom would talk to her like a fucking dog for no reason. Because this is a person that's taking care of you, so why are you talking crazy to them? So it would piss me off. Anybody that knows me knows I go hard for people that I love. And I love Lil G like a sister. It ain't like no auntie, like a sister, right? So, and also a tidbit of information, Lil G used to live in the house with us as kids as well, but she also used to live in the house with Rolita and her kids, and I'm gonna circle back to that shit too, because I'm gonna air all y'all shit out tonight. I'm tired of y'all doing what y'all doing. So, from the nurse at the nursing home, when Rolita and them would go, when they started visiting, which was very rare, the topic would always be Lil G, right? Always be Lil G. Then all of a sudden, here comes an Adult Protective Services, what do you call it, report that now Lil G is abusing her mom, which is my grandmother, right? This is November last year, right before Thanksgiving. This is what is being said. And then Rolita is the first one who said something about it. Then then Jackie said, and I got this in a text message. I wish I could. I'm live on both of my phones, but I can't go to my text message to give you word for word because I keep fucking receipts. Okay, so because I unblocked Jackie and text her when this shit went down about the false accusations of abuse. Now, this really pissed me off because Lil G is in the medical field. So when you have an accusation of abuse, especially against an elderly person, that can fuck with your livelihood, right? So I'm pissed and I'm working. This is before Thanksgiving, so y'all know I'm baking and shit. So I'm dealing with this and trying to help Lil G and trying to keep her calm, all at the same time wanting to fight all these people, right? So so Jackie said that when she walked in the room, my grandmother, her mother said that Lil G had been hitting on her, right? So then, of course, they tell the administrator, right? Even though this couldn't be further from the fucking truth, because there's a camera in the room that Little G placed in the room to protect all parties, not just herself. So there's a camera in there. And one of the last times that Lil G went up there to take care of her, she was bathing her. I was delivering a catering order for this other company that I work for or whatever. I'm on the phone. And I also had the login to the video camera that was in the room. So I could see the camera also. I'm on the phone and I can see the camera, right? So I can hear my grandma, yelling and saying, "Stop, don't touch me." So then I look at the camera. All Lil G is trying to bathe her and clean her, and she's kicking her and hitting her as if Lil G is doing something to her, right? She's throwing water all over the place, acting a fool. But guess what? You would act a fool too if your other children are in here filling your head with evil and negative things about one of your children, right? And this the child that's coming up here. But in the same breath, you'll get mad at her when she don't come and bring you a breakfast sandwich. Something you can't even really eat because you can hardly swallow, and the reason you have a G-tube so you can get your nutrients, right? But this same G-tube right now, y'all, has been removed. They had it removed when they took her from the nursing home. They had it removed. And about the G-tube, so another aunt of mine, which is Velda, this aunt is actually my grandmother's sister. So this is my great aunt, right? Is that how they go? I don't know. So Velda is my grandmother's sister. So she's talking on the phone. I'm listening. Lil G always had me on the phone so she could have backup and have proof, right? And I wish I had my recorded calls. So Velda is saying, well, I'm going to get her. I'm preparing a place for her. That's my sister. And above anything else, I'm going to take care of her, right? This is all the stuff she's saying. This is the stuff she's saying before my grandmother got removed out of that nursing home. And before they made all these reports, and the administrator of the nursing home told Lil G not to come back to the nursing home. This is the only real family member y'all see coming up here to visit this lady and take care of this lady, but y'all tell her, don't come up here. I know they did it because they was tired of all the drama that was going on. So anyway, Lil G couldn't go up there. And then people are steady calling her. The Adult Protective Services man called her, and he was like, yeah, I got a report that you were abusing Eleanor Dixon, which is your mom. You were abusing her. They said that you burnt her feet and put glue in her mouth. Y'all, when I'm on the phone looking like, who the fuck, what are you even talking about right now? And the man was like, the only thing I saw with her mouth, like her teeth are kind of, look like they want to come out, which she hasn't been to the dentist in quite a while. So, of course, her dental health is bad, right? But that's the only thing he saw. And if her feet got burned, you would see proof of that. You would see proof if someone was hitting on her, right? You would see all of that. And he was like, yeah, I'm just going to close this case today. So I had already told Lil G the case was going to get closed because it had no basis, period. But that doesn't stop a person from worrying, especially when it could affect how they make their money. She takes care of herself. She was taking care of her mama. She was taking care of her Angel, her younger sibling. Helping her out with her kids and stuff like that. She used to help out Lucius too, but he lost his mind when they mama went to the hospital, tried to fight Lil G because he didn't want to pay nothing where he laid his head at. But see, that's the problem with the black families. They want to let the boys lay up and be taken care of, but they want the girls to get out and work and take care of everybody. So this is what has been instilled in us, because that's your mama. You only got one mama. You got to take care of her no matter how she treats you, right? So that's what Lil G kept doing. That's what she kept doing. She wasn't at a point where I was at, where I cut my mama off for how she treated me and how she was treating other people. So like I said, the catalyst for me to cut my mom off, not the end of last year, but the year before that, was the shit that she was doing to Little G. And it was all secretive. And then at first my mom was calling me every day, talking to me. Then she stopped calling me, and I'm like, that's weird, right? But I also know that she only called and checked on me and stuff when it would benefit her. So she's just trying to lay it out like she really gives a fuck, right? So she stopped calling me. Then I heard about the hospital thing, and then I heard about them trying to keep Lil G out the hospital room. I said, oh, so that's why she's not calling me, because what she's doing to Lil G, and she knows I talk to Lil G, right? Cool beans. I immediately blocked her on Facebook. I tried to block Rolitha immediately, but it wouldn't let me block her. It was some glitch with Facebook. I wasn't able to block her until actually like a month or so ago. I blocked her also. And then I also blocked Demetrius, but Demetrius had already been blocked since I put out the original YouTube video outing the pedophile Junior, outing him for what he was, and outing my mom for not doing anything about it. And other family members like Rolitha, she knew too, because Little G told her what Junior did to her. It was told to these people. My grandmother knew. She was told by Little G. Angel told. They been knowing what this man was before he ever got to any of the three of us. Me, Lil G, and Angel. They been knew what he was, right? So y'all just serving up girls to him on a silver platter, right? Y'all don't give a fuck about that. Maybe it happened to you before and you feel like because you're okay that we'll be okay too, but that's not what you do. If something like that happens to you, you protect those under you and you keep that nigga the fuck away from all the kids, right? So growing up, I never really talked about it, and not having protection like that, it's a fucked up thing, and it shapes you in a fucked up way, right? But I tell you this, if anybody ever tried to do anything like that to my children, it would never go like that. Never. Because if one time my mama told me, y'all, I asked her as an adult, this was a few years ago, I sent her a message on Facebook. I have the proof. I still have the Facebook messages because, like I say, I keep fucking receipts, right? So I asked her, I said, why didn't you ever... So at the time, I was really depressed and I didn't understand why. And when I figured it out, I'm like, okay, so my oldest daughter, which is now 17, she was actually the age when the shit started with me. But I wasn't putting two and two together. But I commented in a Facebook group. It was like for women or whatever, and that's how I put it together, because I would watch Law and Order SVU all the time, and I know that I like those shows because guess what? The bad guy gets caught. The bad guy ain't got caught in my life, right? He's still fucking walking around. My mama was still taking me around this nigga, right? Okay, so it dawned on me she was the same age. And so the women in the group, I had a private conversation with them. I still have those conversations. They was like, well, you need to say something to her, ask her why she never did anything, right? So I sent her a message and I was like, I just want to know why you never did anything when I told you what your brother, my uncle, did to me. And she was like, catch this, she was like, you're grown now, go to the police. That's exactly what that lady sat there and typed and sent to me. You're grown now. Go to the police. She sure did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's more that she said. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the kind of mindset that she had back then, when my 17-year-old was like 6 or 7 or something like that, guess what? So why, after I put the YouTube video out outing all of this, did you call Crystal, my motherfucking sister? Y'all know who Crystal is. Everybody might not know who Crystal is, but a lot of y'all do. I get to the hospital to visit Aubrey, which is Crystal's daughter, because she was sick at the time. She was in the hospital. I get up there, and Jackie, like, almost immediately after I got there, like she had a camera in the room, Jackie calls Crystal's phone and was like, oh, I'm going to send you, because she was blocked from my phone. I blocked her, remember? So she calls Crystal's phone and said, I'm going to send you something, show it to Ruthie. And when Crystal hung up the phone, she started crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she was so upset because now, after all this time, you want to send some information about statute of limitations, about somebody being raped or something like that, after I put a YouTube video out, though. Now you want to do something like that. But all my life, you've had me around this nigga. You know what I'm saying? All my life, you've been in his face. Even before I blocked her, y'all, she asked me to get a car in my name for her at this car lot. It wouldn't have went on my credit, which is okay, cool. I thought about it for a little bit. But at the time, I was struggling to pay my own car note, right? And she knew this. I brought it up multiple times, but she's still asking me, am I going to get the car for her? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I get on Facebook and I see a picture, which I put in that YouTube video where I outed him. I see a picture with my mama, Rolitha, and Junior hugged up smiling in purple, my favorite color. So you hugged up with this nigga at a function, but you asking me to put a car in my name for you, and I'm about to lose my car, and I got 2 kids over here. So you don't give a fuck about me at all. And I said, I told her, in light of this, you know what I'm saying, with that and the fact that, you know, I'm about to lose my car and you ain't offer to help one bit, I can't get a car for you, right? So I've always been the type to try to do whatever. Hold on, y'all. To do whatever I could to help my mom, because, like I say, it's instilled in you. That's your mama. You only get one mama, right? You gotta help your mama regardless of what you got going on. I never told my mama no ever in my life until recently, right? And so I was really thinking about doing that car, but I'm like, you would be stupid as hell to get this lady a car, and then I don't know if y'all remember my ex Lena. When I was with Lena, we had a rental car, right? We were going around trying to find a car. So we found a car. My mama was like, well, let me use the rental car until I get a car. Let her use the rental car. I know somebody not on my live asking me, baby, go somewhere. They asking me for a ride. Excuse me? So we let her use the rental car, and I was like, as long as you pay the money, you can use it, right? Why did I do that? But she had already buttered me up for months, y'all. She had buttered me up for months. She was calling me and telling me how proud of me she was. She was checking on me all the time, like coming over to the house. She lived right across the street in some apartments from me. I lived in one complex, she lived in another, so she was always calling me, giving me that attention that I've been longing for all my life, right? So then I let her use this rental car. She gave me some money one time, and then she stopped giving me the money. And then, baby, I'm about to block you. Because how am I going to get you an Uber? What are you talking about? What do you, hold on, everybody, because I cannot. Okay, so she gave me money one time, and I'm like, you need to take the rental car back, right? You need to take it back. If you don't take it back, I'm going to call the police. I know in her head, she was like, this girl's not going to call the police. She ain't never did nothing to me. All this shit I done did to her, right? And, of course, I didn't want to call the police. I didn't. And so, how do I make you a mod? Let's see if I can figure that out. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. You got to tell me how to do it. So she wouldn't take the car back, y'all. They steady emailing, they steady calling. And mind you, I rented this car with the business account that me and Lena had. Me and Lena used to be business partners. So we had a business account, and I had just got it to the standing where you can start using it for business credit and everything. It was an account with Bank of America. She wouldn't take the car back, y'all. She stopped answering the phone. She stopped answering text messages. I'm emailing her, right? And then she told me she was going to take it back. And I'm okay, if it's not back by this time, I'm going to call the police. But I really didn't want to call the police on my mama. It's my mama, right? So by the time she took the car back, it was like $1,000 and something that was owed. So when The rental car company charged the checking account. The bank actually paid them. So we didn't owe the bank. Well, I didn't owe the bank because it was in my name. I didn't owe the bank, but I didn't owe the rental car company. I owed the bank. So of course that means the bank account is gone because I don't just have thousands of dollars laying around. So I should have called the police on her. I should have done that. In hindsight, I wish I had, because maybe she would have learned a big lesson then. But all my life she's done fucked up things to me and she's gotten away with it. It's always swept under the rug. You know, in black families, people do ill, mean, rude, nasty, evil, conniving shit to you, and you sweep it under the rug because that's family, right? You're supposed to love your family. You only get one family. But baby, y'all only get one me. And if you ever had me in your life in any capacity, you know that I'm a blessing to have in your life, right? And my mama been knowing this, so that's why she been used, you know what I'm saying? Been using it, right? So I'm gonna pause on Jackie, and I'm gonna go back to Rolita. So Rolita kept going to the nursing home, and she would have a folder in her hand every time she went into the room. She would have this folder, and me and Lil G, we like, I wonder what's in that folder. And I'm like, probably power of attorney papers, right? Because remember, Lil G was power of attorney. So she kept going with this paper, and had some woman going with her or whatever. And they would turn the camera around and talk shit when they turned the camera around, but not knowing that we could still hear, right? So did all this shit or whatever, did the false report and all this shit or whatever. And the administrator ended up telling Lil G that she no longer had power of attorney, that Rolita had it. I don't know if legally she was supposed to tell her that, but it happened, right? So we like, okay, it's out of your hands. Now, mind y'all, I didn't want to get involved in nothing dealing with my grandma and these people at all. I didn't want to get involved. I would let Lil G vent and talk to her, but I didn't want to get involved because I felt like I had finally, freed myself. I got free, right? But I was talking to somebody that's been in my life forever, and he was like, if you say you got Lil G back like you got Lil G back and you love her, then you need to do whatever you need to do to be there for her, right? So he changed my whole mindset. And I'm like, you right. You fucking right. So that's why I start being on the phone and I start telling her this, and I'm like, if you want to file papers or whatever, I got you. I can type it up. We can do whatever you want to do. I got your back 100%. If you want to be done with it or if you want to keep going, I got you. That's why I was all in at that point, right? And so once they did the power of attorney, I'm like, cool, it's out of our hands, right? And so we knew that they had been trying to take her out the nursing home. And mind you, Lil G, I told y'all she would take care of her finances and stuff for her. My grandmother, she would take care of her finances. So she had her card that she would get her check on every month. And so the money that she had left, she put it in a money order. She called me. She asked me, hey, will you take this money order up to the nursing home? Sure. No problem. I got you. We met up. I took the money order to the nursing home. I told the lady a little bit of what was going on. And she was looking at me like, damn, that's fucked up. I know, baby. I know it's fucked up. But here go this money. Put it on her account. So Lil G wouldn't have her funds or nothing like that. And then it was some kind of, they were trying to say it was financial abuse with Lil G. Never happened. But they were trying to think of any kind of way to control Lil G, right? Because they also wanted Lil G to hand over any identification that she had for my grandmother, her pay card, all of that. They wanted this stuff from her. And I'm like, you don't have to give them anything. If they gonna take over, they can go get all that stuff replaced. They can go, whatever they trying to do, it's ways for them to do it, and you don't have to help them, right? So that's what I'm telling her. So she ended up, I think she canceled the card that she had. The rest of the money, I had took it up there in a money order. I don't know as far as any identification. Now, mind you, Lil G and my grandma, they have the same exact name. My grandma named Lil G after her. So my grandma is Miss G. Lil G is Lil G. Both of them are Eleanor, right? So, anyway, and I feel like that was some forethought fraud shit too, but we ain't gonna get into that. But so Rolita now has power of attorney, right? Lil G is not allowed at the nursing home, right? I'm not going to visit her at the nursing home because I'm not talking to her. So, mind you, before all this happened, the people at the nursing home would call Lil G all the time when my grandma wasn't cooperating, wasn't letting the people do what they need to do, so Lil G had to go up there. And if they tried to call somebody else on the list, like Rolita, they would tell them to call Lil G. So everything is on Lil G. And Jackie and Rolita would tell her, well, you the nurse, but they only pick and choose when they want to, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge the schooling that she has, acknowledge what she has, right? So so now Rolita got power of attorney. Next thing we know, we hear through the grapevine, Grandma not at the nursing home no more. But Grandma was saying that she didn't want to stay with Lil G, right? Lil G had a whole setup for her. She didn't want to stay with Lil G. Cool. You can't make somebody let you help them, right? Even though this hurt Lil G. And I can say this because I know y'all. I'm talking to this girl on the phone all the time, so I know what's going on. So she hurt, but you can't allow somebody to beat you down to help them, right? So she took her hands off of it. Mind you, Aunt Velda, my grandma's sister, said that she was gonna get her. Said that she went to the nursing home and all this stuff, and she was gonna get her and take care of her. Was talking about bathing her outside in the yard with lie. And baby, that's not necessary. But anyway, that's what she was talking about. Then she was talking about how that's what I told y'all I was gonna circle back to, the G tube. So Velda was telling Lil G that the G tube was inhumane. Talk about, I saw that tube in her stomach and that just looks inhumane and it looks painful. Mind y'all, the G tube had to be surgically placed because of the anatomy of my grandmother and how hard it was for them to do it. They tried 3 times. They got it. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew that it was something up with them talking about the G tube before she left the nursing home. Now we know that they removed the G tube, got it removed once she left the nursing home. This is how she gets her nutrients, because she can't eat, right? Before she left that nursing home, she was very vocal. She'll cuss you out. I told y'all she was cussing Lil G out, everything, cussing the people out, all this kind of stuff. And also, let me add that she never wanted a man to change her or see her without her clothes on, not even the people that worked at the nursing home. So while she's been staying with Rolita, the pedophile, Junior, been changing her. That it was told that Lucius was also doing it. I don't know. But why on God's green earth would you allow a male, period, to change your mother when she don't want no males changing her? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you get her G-tube removed so she can't eat? It sounds like you had a plan. It sounds like your plan is coming into fruition because she's now in the hospital and she's septic, y'all. She's septic, right? They're saying all her levels are really low and she's septic and it's just all this shit. And they also called Lil G back and told her that they're not going to release my grandmother back to Rolita. The hospital didn't have Rolita's contact information at all. But this woman is living with you, but they don't have your contact information and you're not at the hospital checking on her and seeing what's going on. So I don't even know the details of how she got to the hospital, but it seems like some bullshit to me. What do y'all think? So, so they called her back and told her that. And after I told Lil G when I heard the lady on the phone telling her everything that was wrong with my grandma, I was like, I'm gonna air this shit out tonight. That's it. Because y'all, this is not the first time that they have taken over a family member and then the family member ends up being dead. Now, my grandmother is not dead yet, but I feel like that's the plan. If you listen to everything that I'm saying and even stuff that I done left out, that is the plan, right? So the first person that I know of was Angel's child. Angel is my younger aunt. She's younger than me. Her firstborn, Travion, Rolita, with the help of Jackie, took Travion from Angel. Now, Angel was very young when she had him. They took him, right? So, and they also took her daughter, Mia. She has her daughter, Mia, back now, but she basically kind of had to kidnap her to get her back. But Mia's about to be grown, or is grown now. But, so they took Travion. Travion ended up having leukemia, right? But, so the court cases is saying that they was investigating Rolita for, neglect. Like, he wasn't getting the treatment he needed. So Travion ended up dying. And I didn't get to go to Travion's funeral because I ended up going to jail in Bryan. I went to go pick up 2 of my brothers so they could go. And we, Bryan College Station, the laws is bad. So we leaving, we singing, party in the USA and put my hands up and the motherfucking police lights go off. I had a ticket or a fine or something that wasn't paid. So they took me to jail. So I wasn't able to go to the funeral. But they took this girl's child and he ended up dying, and then they didn't even really want her involved. Like, you took somebody's child. Up until recently, Angel was paying child support for her child that Rolita took for her child. Like, bro, sent this girl to jail before for her child. It's like this family only knows how to get over on each other, get over on other people. They know how to get checks for children and people. Like, so it's just generational. It just keeps fucking going, right? But nobody ever says anything. So Travion was the first person that I knew about, but I didn't know all the details because I was also younger at the time. I wasn't a kid. I was grown, but I was younger at the time. I didn't know what all they was doing, right? So the second person is Georgia May. Now, I'm trying to get the greats right, but Georgia is my grandmother's mother, right? So, at one point before she died, Georgia was living with Mark, my Uncle Mark. Mark is my grandmother's brother, right? Georgia was living with him. Lil G would go over there and bathe her and do her hair and do her nails, and she would tell Lil G, you the only reason I'm still alive. And of course Lil G like, damn, why would she say that, right? So one day Lil G tries to go see her, and Mark tells her, you can't come over here no more. And Lil G like, why I can't see her? He pulls a knife out, bitch, I'll stab you. Like, what is all of this for, right? Lil G had a vision, and in the vision she saw that Mama, that's what we call Georgia, Mama, she saw that Mama's hair was cut off. Next thing we know, we see on Facebook, it's a picture of Mama looking real frail in the bed and her hair is cut off. It was my profile picture at one time, right? So then a little bit after that, she goes to the hospital. Then a little bit after that, she's dead. They don't want Lil G at the funeral. They don't want Lil G at the hospital. And I don't know what's going on. I had just had the baby, had Josiah. I carried Josiah for Crystal, so I just had a C-section so Josiah could be born like right before Georgia passed away, right? So during that time, my mama had started acting funky with me, right? I had no idea why. And so I had went over to her apartment to ask her about the I think the funeral arrangements or something, and she was on the phone, but she was ignoring me, and it pissed me off. Like, why are you ignoring me? And I'm standing right here in your face, and I'm asking you about something important. And so I walked out and I slammed the door. So she came outside and she was calling me all kinds of bitches and hoes and telling me that other people control my life. She was talking about Crystal because, remember, I carried a baby for Crystal. So she was saying Crystal controlled my life and that I was a hoe. She said it's all kind of people outside, y'all. And I got Jamari with me. Gabby wasn't even thought of yet, right? So she's outside calling me bitches and hoes and trying to fight me, and Jamari is in the back. Like, we get to the car, Jamari is in the back seat of my car, looking at her grandmother in my face, trying to fight me for what, though? I don't know. And I told her, if you hit me, you're going to jail. Now, if she hit me that day, she probably would have went to jail. I wouldn't have put my hands on her. But today, as it stands, I would put my hands on her, which is why I cannot be around her, which was why I made the decision to go no contact, because I can't handle one more thing from you, baby. So I'm protecting me, right? So she tries to fight me for that. So looking back on it, me and Legit will have late night talks and shit. So looking back on it, I feel like it was a mixture of things why she tried to fight me that day, and all I'm doing is trying to find out about the funeral arrangements. Because no, she didn't want me to know what they were doing. They were in cahoots. Letha, Mark, and Jackie. They were in cahoots with this shit, right? So whatever money and property and things that were to be had, they split it. Mark is a notary. Mark was notarizing papers that wasn't supposed to be notarized. They was stealing, baby. They took her on out of here because she was fine. And all of a sudden she not. And all her shit, now it's being split up. And then what kills me about Jackie, you be helping these people with this deceitful, evil ass shit, and then you get crumbs. You chase these people that don't really give a fuck about you. And the main one, i.e. me, your other kids that had your back like no other, you treat them like shit. But your sister, Velda, Skeeta is Velda's daughter. That's my cousin. Those people she chased, right? So I feel like she didn't want me to know what they were up to, so she had to cause a big ruckus, right? And then also, I feel like me carrying a baby for Crystal was a trigger for her. Now, during that time, I didn't know a huge part of my mom's story. Now, I knew I had a sister. Me and this sister have the same mom and same dad, y'all. And everything that I'm saying, I've got the okay from other parties to talk about, right? So don't be like, you can't tell other people. I can say what the fuck I want to say on here. So I have a sister. Same mama, same daddy. Anytime growing up I would ask about my sister, my mama always got mad. She didn't want to tell me nothing. Even my own daddy couldn't ask about this sister. Mind you, my daddy was locked up for 12 years. He got out when I was 18. He ain't shit either. But this ain't about that side, right? So I was born 7/25/85. My sister was born 2/4/87, right? Today we was in the car and she noticed the date on the back of this fucking picture says 2/5/88. So this was the day after she turned 1 is when this picture of me was taken. And the hand